If you know really the history of that soup, the soup joumou, it started in 1804 after we have all the independence. And the slave, that's the first time ever, they have to drink something delicate. And they go ahead and say, we're going to make some soup like we used to make for our masters. So we're gonna drink some soup. In 1804 and January 1st, they make that soup. Everyone sit down, have a big party, and they start drinking the soup. As you can see, I have my pasta here, it's the rigatoni, and the potatoes in here, and all the vegetables here. And we have some cooking in the stove. We're gonna do our garlic. For the Haitian soup joumou, everything from scratch, nothing's in the box. We start from scratch. This is what's called pilon. We match all our spice in there when we're doing anything. This is scallion. We're gonna match everything in here. Because my grandmother Jolene, when she made this soup, she did not have a fridge back then. So everything from the garden. Spices done. And I am going to take this spoon to mix it up with this one right here. Okay. And the main thing we're gonna use now is the pumpkin. So the pumpkin is in the stove. I'm gonna join this pumpkin right here. If I was not here, I would match this with the pilon. But since we have a blender, it's easier to blend it. And we're gonna mix everything in. This is the beef shoulder. And this is gonna go simmered and here when it started, and I'm gonna mix everything. So we're gonna put the pumpkin, it's gonna go in here. This soup can take up to really 3 hours to make. So it's a soup make all day. So it takes a while to cook. I have the turmeric, which is in here. I'm gonna dice my turmeric because we use that fresh turmeric, that's the powder. And I know some people on the countryside, they use ginger to give it a little bit hot to it. But I don't, because I like to be eating something hot in the winter time. So I use my hot pepper in there. And I am going to add this one with my spice in here. Now I'm gonna add the garlic and everything to the broth. I'm gonna try to chop some parsley. I'm gonna start adding my vegetables. I add this one last because it's spicy. I'm just gonna add to the soup because I don't want it to be too thick. We're gonna add some liquid to it. This is natural salt from Haiti. So I'm gonna add some to it. It's not refined, it's not too salty because it's not refined, but I'm gonna put a handful like this and then put it in the soup. Growing up in the kitchen when we have somebody making that soup, like my mother or my grandmother making that soup, so that's the way I learned. My mom gave me a piece of everything, and then you on the side, you're making it yourself. And now I'm going to add the rest of my starch and my vegetable in here. Of course, the pasta and the potato as last because they seem to be with the starch. I want them to be saggy. You know it's not done yet when they say it's not thick. So most people know like it has to be a little bit thicker. I can add some potatoes now. I'm gonna give it another 10 minutes. So because I put turnip on this one, I leave the skin and the potatoes so we can know the difference. Pasta now, so because this is the starch, it's going to make it look thicker faster because the starch. Okay, and then we're gonna give it another 10 minutes and the soup is ready to serve. When I was younger, everybody's sleeping when they're making that soup. So you know the soup is done when you can smell it everywhere and you come down. I think we are good. I'm gonna taste it again. Voila. There you go. Now we're gonna put this in here. This one will go to the table, and now everyone can come in to eat some soup. Pauline, Francesca, Melissa, Leonardo. Guess what? The soup is done.